Good morning, dear students. I, Vidyasagar, welcome you all in the e-learning class of Modern International School in Sua. I am going to start subject history of standard 6, and this is fifth video lecture on the topic chapter 4 in the earlier cities. Dear students, we have discussed yesterday that how the different precious things which were brought from the different places and how the rulers they have brought it for their own purpose. Now the buildings that were found probably that was for a special work, okay, and that building was considerably known as workshop because the beads, the pieces of stones, and the tools making and finished beads have been found from there. That's why the people they have assumed that these may be act as a workshop for them because for making out such things. Okay. Now seal and sealing. So basically seal it have been used to stamp bags or packets containing the goods that were sent from one place to another place. And after bag that was closed tie with the clay, okay, layer of red clay, and finally applied on the knot, and finally the seal that was impression on it, okay, it was known as sealing. So as we have discussed about the seal and the process of seal for a goods, it was known as sealing. Okay, now one, if he got with any of the things with the seal, then it was known that the goods was arrived safely. Now the mystery of an end, it means as we know that the civilization it was very well, it was flourished among all the parts, and the peoples there were also civilized. But what has been happened there that it came to an end? So around 39 years ago we find the major changes there. Okay, people who were living in a grid pattern, they started living in anywhere. The writing seals weights were no longer used, and raw materials brought from the other places were not brown today. Now, Mohenjo-daro, the garbage that were piled on the streets, it means those garbage which has the another place, it was on the street, and drainage system broke down. That's why what was found that the total garbage was stored in a particular areas, and the less impressive buildings and houses were built there. Okay, but scholar did not support these type of things. They also think about that the besides the grazing by large herd of cattle sheep, the god may have destroyed the green cover, and that's why there were no any trees which have been grown there. That's why there was the scarcity of fuel, and that's why if there is a scarcity, then they could move from that places. Okay, so some of the other reason it also mentioned that flood may be also there. Okay, which has been explained that all the cities they have been ended up by the floods. Wherever it also assumed that there must be the dry in any of the particular areas. As it appears that rulers they have lost their controls, and any of the changes quite clear, the sites in the Sindh and West Punjab were abandoned, and while many peoples moved to a newer and smaller settlements to the east of the south, and the new cities it was emerged in 14 years later. Okay, we will discuss in the next chapter. See, dear students, that how a well settled city has been vanished. So due to some of the problems, due to the minor problem, when it becomes the greater, the so much settled civilization was came to at end. Now the elsewhere you will find the Egypt, which is in South Africa continent. Then you will find that it is a dry desert, okay, which is in the bank of the river Nile. And around the 5,000 years ago, kings ruled over Egypt. The king sent armies to the distant land to bring out the precious stones, gold, and timbers from faraway places. They also built the huge tombs, okay, a triangular structure, pyramidal structure, okay, that is famous in Egypt. And you know that when they used to die, the bodies of the kings were preserved and buried in this pyramid, and they were carefully preserved. It was known as mummies, okay, and the large number of object was also buried with them, so that those objects which was liked by those kings, okay. Now these include the food, drinks, clothes, ornaments, utensils, musical instruments, and weapons and animals. It means all the things, even that those who were working for them, who were serving them, they men or women, they were also buried with the rulers. And the among are the most elaborate burials known in the world history. So you can think about it, you can imagine that what type of civilization it was prevailing in our India, and at the same time what was in other part of the world. Okay, dear students, read the paragraph and keep watching. Thank you.